this LV pre-order saga continues. And I'm going to say it first, this is the last time I'm going to be talking about this pre-order situation, and then after this video we're going to get back to regular programming because I feel like this is negative energy that I'm manifesting on my channel. So we're going to get back to regular programming later. But I am just a bit like not sure what to do. So after I did that video, a day later, I actually got a text from the SA. And obviously nothing to do with the 2 pre-orders that I have. I have my notes here. Okay, I have my message here. So let me read it to you. Hi, Miss Catherine. The Drop 3 pre-order will begin this April. It will be launching in May. May I confirm if you are still interested? So much earlier on, I did mention that I'm interested in the Caris product launch, and I was kind of thinking of getting the Murakami line, the Murakami line multicolor, not the cherry blossom, but then the cherries, because I do kind of like the cute cherries. But because I went through this whole problem, if my orders are coming, I texted the SA back, I said, hey, my 2 orders are not here. If I pre-order again, am I guaranteed to get it? Am I going to be waiting like months ahead? I didn't say that, but that was in my head. And then the reply is this: pre-orders are not guaranteed, but we will try our best to fulfill. But if you don't pre-order, we cannot guarantee that there will be any stock during launch for purchase. Basically, she is saying that you pre-order, at least you have a chance to get something. But if you don't pre-order, they cannot guarantee there'll be any stock during the launch date. So she continues, this is a very popular launch and many items will be sold out. So I feel like it is a bit of like a, you do if you die, don't do if you, what is it? Like, do if you die, don't do if you die, or I don't know what that's saying. Okay, anyway, basically I am trapped. If I don't pre-order, I will probably not get anything at launch day because everything will be sold out. But if I pre-order, they cannot guarantee me anything. I just left it there because I didn't answer anything. I just like disappeared, you know. It was very rude on a WhatsApp, but I just did not do anything. And I just took a step back and it just hit me like, what a freaking scam. I could feel my blood pressure go up. Pre-order means we are ordering something to get, okay, to get. But they are not fulfilling. They don't have the obligation to fulfill. I'm telling you, this money that they are taking from us has to be pretty substantial. So this is where I went down the rabbit hole of reading the annual report of LVMH. Now, everything I say here is really me. I'm not a financial analyst. I don't do finance. I'm not sure if I'm reading this correct, but I can honestly tell you the money that we are giving to LV, they are investing it. I am certain of it because they are not recognizing pre-order money as revenue. So okay, let's take it a step at a time. Okay, I've got my notes. And I mean, like, I can't do anything as a consumer. So I'm going to check if you are what are you doing with all this pre-order money if you are not fulfilling orders? And then you hold the money for 3 to 6 months. I am just piecing the things together and I'm telling you, our money, our pre-order money is being parked somewhere. Not just from LV, from wherever brands that LVMH has. Because if you look at their annual report, it's a consolidated report. It's not like, you know, LV, how much they're earning. You can't go into the brand, right? What they do is a group console. Okay, this is gonna get a bit boring, all right? But if you're still here, just hear me out. You can come and, you know, poke holes into my like theory, but let's look at their annual report. Let's look at the first thing. So this is obviously 2024 last year. So you've got to read this year. So 2025, which talks about the Murakami launch, and you're gonna see the amount of advances which was taken from us. So let's start from the beginning. So 2024 last year. So they had like an outlook at the beginning, like an executive summary. In the outlook, they said, blah, 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 all that. And they say Louis Vuitton will pursue a number of development projects over the coming months, focus on its capacity for innovation and a quest for perfection in all its areas of expertise, including a new collaboration starting in 2025 with the renowned Japanese artist Takashi Murakami, who will add a colorful touch to the Maison's signature designs as a future opening of some of the locations. They highlighted this as part of their annual report. Now, I have done annual reports, not done it, but I have been participating in my work previously. And anything they put in the Outlook, when the annual report comes that following year, which is this year, they've got to talk about it. They have to talk about this launch being extremely successful. Otherwise, this part, investors are going to look at it and say, what happened to your Takashi Murakami thing? So this is why this launch has to be like highlighted again this year. So please hold that in mind. So now I was looking at revenue recognition. So let me find that page of revenue recognition. All right, here we go. So in the notes, 1.27, revenue recognition. So what are they doing with all these pre-order monies? Do they recognize it as, coming in? Can I recognize it as revenue because it's money from my customer? They don't. They do not recognize it as revenue. So it says here, let me look for the point. It says here in the second paragraph, the group recognizes revenue when title transfers to third-party customers, which is generally at the time of purchase by retail customers. So they only recognize the revenue when it's ours. So pre-orders is not ours. So they do not recognize this money as revenue. So it's not bumping up, their books on revenue. So where is it being bumped up? Where is this money, right? Okay, let's talk about it. Go to note 22, which is talking about trade accounts payable and current liabilities. This is where the money is. Now, I suspect, I don't have the depth of the information here, but I suspect this is where the pre-order money is, and it's substantial. Note 22.2, the line that says advances and payments on account from customers. Now in 2024, it was 1,131 million. That's 1 over billion euros. Okay, euros, not USD, not Sing dollar, euros. That's a lot more, right? Okay, so we have that. And you look at the line below. There is a provision that they do for product returns, which is actually substantial. If you think about it, that's 650 million in returns. That is a lot of money in returns. So if they are already provisioning for this, it will impact how they manufacture to reduce the cost of this liability. They provision some, but they also adjust it in their manufacturing. That is my suspicion. So, okay, let's talk about this $1 billion. No, I should say that again. $1 billion in cash, in unearned revenue that's sitting in their bank. So, I'm not recognizing it as revenue. I am putting it as a trade liability. I'm putting it here in my books. I have this liability. But the cash is sitting in my bank. So where do I find cash? All right, where do I find cash? So I looked, at note 15. All right, note 15. They have cash. 15.1, cash and cash equivalents. I'm getting really hot. It says here there are 3 parts of cash. There is term deposits, less than 3 months, 2.200 billion. Then they have some investor funds and ordinary bank accounts, 6.8 billion. This is where our cash is. This is exactly where our money for all the pre-orders, I am absolutely 100% speculating, but the money that we have given to them is in their account, and they are putting it in short-term deposits, 2.2 billion. Some part of it is there. Maybe not the whole amount, maybe not the whole 1 billion, a portion of it, right? So if I fulfill only 50% of the orders, I have 50% because I'm going to pay my suppliers or whatever, right? I still have half of that in that deposit. So this is my speculation, all right? So now, how much do they earn from this, cash and cash equivalents? Let's look at another note. Let's look at note 26, and it says here, income from cash equivalents and current available for sale financial assets. The income they get from it is 231 million euros. A portion of that comes from the deposits that we have given them through our pre-order. It's a portion of it. But that's last year. Whoever gave some pre-orders last year, you funded that. All right? And that cash is right there. That income is 231 million. Before we look at debt, let's go back to that cash and cash equivalent. So if you see, we've got 2.2 billion, oh my God, 2.2 billion euros in term deposits, less than 3 months. All right, they're rolling our money, okay? The total is 9.6 billion euros. Remember this number. So now let's look at debt. So you know that LVMH definitely as such a big corporate has debt. They have their own bonds because they are trying to, fund acquisitions. Tiffany's acquisition was the largest bond offer, like don't know how many, 10 years or something like that. And bonds need to be paid with interest. So, looking at their borrowing, so note 19, you can see that they have quite substantial long-term and short-term borrowings. That's like 22.9 billion, all right, billion in borrowings. Then they've got, borrowings from derivatives, but they bring down the debt, meaning they sort of, not to say bring down, but they, you have cash to manage it. The cash and cash equivalent is right there, 9.631, okay? So though you have 22.8 billion in borrowings, what they're saying here is, don't worry, we've got a lot of current assets, we've got a lot of cash, and therefore my debt is only about 9 million. That's 9 billion last year, that's nothing. A portion of that 9.631 billion is with those term deposits, which is cash at bank, which a portion of it, I'm telling you, I am inferring, comes from our pre-order money. Then we look year on year. In 2023, their net financial debt is 10.7. This year, or last year, 2024, is 9.2. Doesn't that look so much better? You are bringing down your debt. Let's see what they say in their financial outlook. So we come back to the financial statements summary report, where most investors will look at it or maybe just read it just to understand. And with debt, just as a high level, you want to see that they are bringing down their debt or they're managing it, they are paying it off. And with LVMH, you want to know that they're able to service the debt. So if you read this, you can see as of end December 2024, net financial debt came to 9.2 billion. Remember that number? Euros, which is equivalent to about 13% of total equity, means we have so much more money, don't worry about it, compared to 17.1% of 2023, which is down 3.8 points. And that's like, ooh, it's down. As if you read it from there, you're like, oh, very good, they're managing their debt very well. So just by that, there's something about our pre-order. It's helping pad up this report. It's maybe just a drop in the ocean. But why? Why are we doing it? Why are we contributing to this and we are treated without getting the items we paid for? There is a significant unfairness and it's a scam. Okay, it's a scam. One final thing to look at. And this is a little bit of a stretch. And it's not that, LV cannot pay their debt interest or whatever interest they have from other means, but we are contributing to that payment, okay? So if you look at note number 8, you can see that they have a cost of net financial debt. So interest paid on that 9.6 $2 billion. So the cost of that is about, the whole year is about 357 million. So they are paying interest on this debt, right? So they, obviously for an investor, you want to see the debt go down, however they're doing it. So 357 million for 12 months that they are paying. So let's look back at the cash and cash equivalents, where they will be investing that, right? It's not going to just sit in the bank idle, not doing anything, right? This money, the pre-order, 1 billion from us, and blah, 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 and wherever else they're getting the money. But equivalently, all together, they have about 9 billion, exactly 9.6 billion. So we do a quick calculation on $9.6 billion. And, you know, I'll just throw a random interest because, you know, short-term deposits, maybe the interest is, I don't know, usually a little lower. I think it's a little lower. Then ordinary bank accounts, maybe a few percent. Then these funds, I don't know what they give. So let's just average it out to say 4%. Okay, I don't think LV is getting 4%, but let's just give them 4% for the whole year. They get, in terms of interest, just from the cash and cash equivalents, of 384 million euros, assuming it's 4%. That's more than enough to pay the interest. And a little portion of that 9.6 billion, which is 1 billion from us, is helping to pay this interest. Helps to make their books look good. I'm really stretching for this, but I'm telling you, no financial CFO in a bank is going to say, oh, take the pre-order money and just leave it there. Don't worry, leave it idle for 6 months. They are depositing our money to put somewhere, and it's all happening in their annual report. Oh my God. So anyway, coming back to my pre-order, because now that I see this, and I know it, eyes wide open. By the way, you can ask AI, is this illegal? It's not illegal, all right? If you're thinking, oh my God, they're depositing, they're doing a financial banking, it's actually not illegal for companies of such scale, and most companies, to do this kind of investing, to manage the funds, manage the cash. But I think it's a scam because we expect the delivery of our items, we expect to get our things, but we are not getting it. Or a lot of you end up canceling your order, but you've got your money stuck there a few months, funding this interest, okay, this term deposit under their cash and cash equivalents. Anyway, to my pre-orders, I have decided to cancel it. Just reading this, it doesn't feel good anymore. I just will not be keeping those pre-orders. In fact, the pre-order that I've already paid for, meaning it is charged to my credit card, I've already paid for it. Was the third month, right? I paid for it a long time ago. The one that's most recent, actually the credit card is this month. So I'm just gonna cancel it. There's no financial impact to me, thank goodness. And, oh wait, maybe, if there is, like I saw some of your comments, I could write to the bank to get my cash back, but it's just annoying, right? So it's unfortunate. So one buying behavior that I will now take is that no stock, no talk. I am not doing any more pre-orders with LV. I am not paying money with an unknown in the future. If I don't see it in store and I don't get to touch and feel, I am not buying it. Unless they suddenly change their, what is it called, like a confirmation that guarantees me to get it, then maybe. But other than that, if all this like cannot fulfill, don't get, not guaranteed, cancel your order in last minute, no, I don't want to be part of this, financial manipulation that they're doing. I rather walk in and buy exactly what's there. See, touch, like, buy. Don't see, no touch, no call, nothing happening, everything out in the blue. Is a no more for me. So I'm no longer pre-ordering. And I know this is the new behavior of LV, doing pre-orders to get the limited edition items, the new collections, those drops and all that. But really, do we really need all these drops? I'm done. I'll buy the regular Speedy. I'll buy, a Neverfull, which, I do need to replace my Foray Lepage. But yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this. And anyway, coming back to this whole scenario, this is me going down the rabbit hole. And obviously, this is my interpretation. You can interpret the financial report If you are a financial advisor, you could totally say, Kat, you're crazy. I get it, but I see $1 billion in advances from customers, and you gotta do something with that billion. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, I do hope you'll give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell as well. Otherwise, everyone, please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one.